developing some quiet time with your children. Now, quiet time has so many, the idea of just being still has so many different effects. In the Bible, it's be still and know that I am God. In different traditions, there are lots of different types of prayers. And in different religions, there are, I just said that, in different religions, there's different prayers. In different philosophies, there's different techniques. But the fundamental thread that runs through all of that is an idea of quieting oneself, just being still. I can remember as a child one time I was playing golf with my friends, and we were all sitting on a fence waiting for this group to pass through. And we must have been just sitting on a fence looking out over a beautiful golf course for half an hour. And we were all kids around the ages maybe like 9 to 12, and no one talked for the entire half an hour. We just sat and just looked out at this beautiful view and didn't say anything. And I remember that being one of the most peaceful times in my childhood. And, so establishing that ability. You're going through the art museum, just sitting in front of one painting for however long your child can sit. And say, we're going to sit, quietly for 5 minutes and look at this one painting. And then afterwards, I want you to tell me what you think. Or going fishing. It's a very peaceful, relaxing activity. Or taking a walk. Maybe you talk for a part of the walk, and then you say, for the next couple minutes, we're just going to, quietly listen for the birds. Or we're going to not talk for the next period of time. Or, whatever it is. If you're religious, time to pray. Bring all your concerns to God, do that kind of a thing, do the formal type of prayer that you're used to, and then say, we're going to sit for the next 5 or 10 minutes. We're just going to quietly listen to God talking to us, in terms of just what is he placing on our hearts. You're not going to physically hear God, and it's pretty unlikely at least. And, you go through those different types of exercises. And there are so many of those very, very productive exercises. And what this is going to do is it's going to retrain your child's mind. It's going to increase their level of attentiveness. It's going to increase their level of happiness. It's going to reduce their level of stress. It's going to allow them to get in contact with reality. Most of our fears and stresses are because we are not truly in contact with reality. We have an exaggerated sense of what might happen, our fears. And so all this quiet time makes a huge difference. And you can start with 1 minute or 30 seconds and make a big, giant deal out of it. In class, we'll have a black belt steering contest. Everybody looks at, with their partner, they make eye contact and hold still for a minute. Or they'll have a black belt steering contest with me. Or, we have everyone turn into a statue and I'll put a cup of water on their head. We do all these different types of games. And the purpose of these games is to develop that ability to be still, to be quiet. And this is, again, another practice which has tremendous amount of clinical studies behind it that shows that it increases happiness, reduces stress level, increases the ability to focus, and is very powerful. All these external conditions that we might strive for, or things we do to provide happiness for our children, all of those statistically, it makes no difference. You get the kid every game he ever wanted, every toy he ever wanted. In a matter of days, weeks, or months, his happiness level will go exactly back. You get him all the friends, you get him straight A's, you get everything aligned. All external conditions in your child's life are perfectly aligned, no increase in happiness. But doing these drills consistently for, let's say, 3 months, significant improvement in their level of happiness, reduction in stress. And I'm not saying not to provide optimal conditions. I have a little baby daughter, 16 months old. I want everything to be right for her. I want the environment to be peaceful. I want her room to be just right. We paint her room. We scribe a Bible verse on the wall. My wife and I have done all these things to provide the best possible environment. We learned about naps, and all of that is wonderful. Obviously, you want optimal conditions for your children or for yourself, and that's good and that's right. But it's when we imagine that those conditions are going to provide a level of happiness. a significant increase in level of happiness. It's not going to happen. Many long-term studies now have been done that have showed that combining every external condition that you can think of, putting those all together, and examining those people that have all of those things in place, what is the baseline increase in happiness? And it is only roughly 15%. People who have all those things are roughly 15% happier than people who are just baseline. We're not talking about someone who's in poverty or in jail. We're just talking about a regular person who is above the poverty line. And so that's not very much of an increase. 15% for all that work. I don't know that that's really even worth it. Whereas using these different measures, you see an increase of 100, 200, 400%, depending on how seriously you take this and how much effort you put into it. So I encourage all of you that this is a huge field. And this is one of the reasons I love martial arts, is because doing martial arts is one of these drills. It's the awareness with your partner, the drills, the attention, the concentration, the focus. All of those things do exactly what we were just talking about, these other drills. And it does it in a way that's fun and exciting for kids. They don't even know what's happening. And that's why over a period of time, you see children who are in martial arts are generally happier, more focused, less stressed. And you know, that it happened to me, and I fell in love with martial arts. And to this day, I still train a lot because of those side effects. But I wanted to go into it with our parents and with the people in our community to share that this is such a powerful thing. It's so important, and it's going to make a huge difference. Whereas these other factors are not as important. One of my moms was here who enrolled a couple of months ago, and she's been such a pleasure to have at the school. And she said to me, when I was enrolling her, I told her how much the monthly price was for one of our programs. And she goes, "Oh my goodness, I thought it was going to be 3 times as much." And then she said, "I had already made my mind up to pay that much because my child's happiness is more important to me than having a nicer car or a nicer home or a nicer this or that, which isn't going to make any difference to them." And when I heard her say that, I just thought about how wise, mothers are, and how wise wives are. My wife is so much smarter than I am, and their natural intuition knows all these things that guys and scientists and everybody have to go through and study and do all this analysis, and she just knew this in her heart, just intuitively. And it really moved me, and it also made me feel really responsible. I wanted to make a huge difference in this child's life, and thankfully we have. He's made amazing progress, and I'm tremendously proud. Actually, the student turned out to be one of the students of the month. And so I just wanted to share that with everybody and encourage you in guiding your children in this way and taking up this challenge to yourself. This can be a very powerful, powerful tool, and has made a tremendous difference in my quality of life and my outlook and my stress level. So I encourage everyone out there to take advantage of this, to research it. Leave your questions and comments below the post here, and I hope you have enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing all of the good finders out there. Let me know about your experiences. Thank you, and goodbye.